Welcome back to the show, everyone. Have you ever looked at someone who seems to effortlessly achieve their goals and wondered what their secret is? Maybe you've thought it was raw talent, a lucky break, or just sheer intelligence. But what if I told you the real magic behind their success isn't any of those things? Today, we're diving deep into a concept that might not sound glamorous, but it's the bedrock of all lasting achievement: consistency. Success isn't about those occasional grand gestures or bursts of intense effort. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant steps you take every single day. Think about it. Whether you're aiming to learn a new language, get in shape, master a musical instrument, or build a thriving business, consistency is the quiet force that unlocks the door to your aspirations. Imagine two people embarking on the same journey, let's say, learning to play the guitar. One person dedicates an entire Saturday, 5 hours straight, to practicing chords and scales. The other picks up their guitar for just 15 minutes every day. Who do you think will be making more consistent progress and ultimately become a better player? The answer, as you probably guessed, is the person who practices daily. Those small, repeated efforts, consistently applied over time, yield the most significant results. In this episode, we're going to explore the incredible power of consistency, uncover the common hurdles that trip people up, and equip you with the best strategies to build this vital habit in your own life. By the end, you'll have a clear roadmap to harness the power of consistency and start seeing amazing results in whatever you set your mind to. So, let's get started. First things first, what exactly is consistency? At its core, consistency means doing something regularly, without giving up. It's the discipline of repeating actions over time, rather than just doing something sporadically. It's about showing up every day, every week, whatever your chosen cadence to keep moving forward. Think of it like taking small steps towards a monumental destination. Each step on its own might seem insignificant, but the cumulative effect of those consistent steps will eventually get you where you want to go. Consider someone wanting to improve their physical fitness. If they commit to just 20 minutes of exercise every day, over weeks and months, they will undoubtedly see a transformation in their strength and endurance. But if they only hit the gym for a grueling 3-hour session once a month, their progress will be much slower and far less sustainable. The same principle applies across all areas of life: learning, work, health, relationships, almost everything. It's about how those small, repeated actions pave the way for big achievements. Now, let's delve into how these small, repeated actions actually lead to those big results. It boils down to the fact that success isn't usually a sudden event. It's the accumulation of those consistent, seemingly minor efforts. When you repeat an action consistently, day after day, week after week, it gradually transforms into a habit. And habits are powerful. They become ingrained in your routine, requiring less conscious effort over time. Think of it like planting a seed. If you diligently water that seed every day, providing it with the nourishment it needs, it will eventually sprout and grow into a strong plant. But if you only water it sporadically, forgetting for long stretches, that seed might never take root. Consistency works in the same way in everything you pursue. The small, consistent steps you take today are the seeds of the big results you'll harvest in the future. Let's illustrate this with another example, this time focusing on writing. Imagine two aspiring authors. Author A commits to writing just 250 words every day. Some days it flows easily, other days it feels like pulling teeth, but they consistently put those 250 words down. Author B, on the other hand, aims for big writing sessions. They might spend an entire weekend writing thousands of words, but then go weeks without touching their manuscript. Who do you think will finish their book faster and with more consistent momentum? It's likely author A. While author B might have some impressive bursts of output, the long gaps in between mean they lose momentum, forget details, and essentially have to restart their flow each time. Author A's consistent daily effort, even if it seems small, steadily builds their manuscript, page by page. This highlights a crucial point. Small, daily practice is often far more effective than infrequent, large bursts of activity. So, why is consistency so darn important? Let's break down some key benefits. It builds habits. As we touched on earlier, regular repetition ingrains actions into your routine, making them feel more natural and requiring less willpower. It brings steady progress. Even if the progress seems slow on a daily basis, those small steps consistently move you forward towards your goal. It increases confidence. As you consistently show up and see even minor improvements, your belief in your ability to succeed grows. It reduces overwhelm. Breaking down big goals into smaller, daily tasks makes the overall journey feel less daunting. It ultimately leads to success. History is filled with examples of individuals who achieved extraordinary things through consistent effort, often without possessing exceptional talent or luck. Now, the million-dollar question. How do you actually stay consistent? It's often easier said than done. Here are some practical strategies to help you build and maintain consistency. Start incredibly small. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Begin with tiny, manageable actions. Want to start exercising? Commit to just 5 minutes a day. Want to learn a language? Aim for 10 minutes of practice. Establish a routine. Integrate your desired action into your daily schedule. Set a specific time. For example, maybe you practice your new language every morning before checking emails. Track your progress. Keep a simple log, either in a notebook or using a digital app, to monitor your daily efforts. Seeing your consistency build over time can be incredibly motivating. Stay connected to your why. Regularly remind yourself of the reasons behind your goal. Visualize the positive outcomes. This will fuel your motivation on days when you don't feel like it. Be patient and kind to yourself. Results take time. There will be days when you slip up. Don't let that derail you. Acknowledge it, and get back on track the next day. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistent effort. We've talked about the what and the why, and now we've touched on the how. In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into the psychological and neurological reasons why consistency is so powerful. We'll explore the science behind habit formation and the incredible concept of the compound effect. Stay with us. Welcome back. Before the break, we were discussing practical strategies for staying consistent. Now let's peek behind the curtain and understand the science that makes consistency so effective. At the heart of consistency lies the fascinating process of habit formation. Habits are essentially actions that we've repeated so many times that they become largely automatic. When you first start something new, your brain has to work quite hard to focus and execute the task. But with each repetition, something remarkable happens in your brain. This is where neuroplasticity comes into play, the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. When you consistently repeat an action, the neurons involved in that action start to fire together more frequently, creating stronger and more efficient pathways. Think of it like forging a trail through a forest. The first time you walk through, it's difficult, overgrown, and unclear. But the more you walk that same path, the clearer and more well-defined it becomes. Eventually, you can walk it almost without thinking. Learning a language, playing a musical instrument, or establishing a fitness routine all work on this principle. Consistent repetition strengthens those neural pathways, making the action easier and more automatic over time. The brain also operates a bit like a muscle. The more you use it in a particular way, the stronger those connections become. Each consistent effort reinforces the neural pathways associated with your goal. This is why, if you stop practicing a skill, those pathways can weaken, and you might start to forget what you've learned. Imagine a dirt road again. If cars drive on it every day, it stays relatively smooth and easy to travel. But if it's left unused for months, weeds will start to grow, and the road will become difficult to navigate. Our brains function similarly. Consistent practice keeps those roads clear and accessible. Building on this idea of small, repeated actions is the powerful concept of the compound effect. This principle states that small, consistent improvements, when compounded over time, lead to absolutely massive results. Think about it in terms of finances. If you save just a small amount of money consistently, say $5 a day, it might not seem like much initially. But over months and years, with even modest interest, that small daily saving can grow into a significant sum. The same principle applies to learning and personal growth. If you learn just one new vocabulary word in a new language every day, over a year, you'll have added 365 new words to your lexicon. Over 5 years, that's a substantial vocabulary. Success rarely happens overnight. It's the accumulation of those small, consistent actions that build over time. We see the power of consistency in action all around us. Consider elite athletes. They don't become champions through occasional intense training sessions. They follow rigorous, consistent training schedules, day in and day out, honing their skills and pushing their limits incrementally. Think about successful entrepreneurs. They didn't build their empires in a single day. They worked consistently on their ideas, iterating, learning from mistakes, and persevering through challenges, often for years. And as we discussed earlier, language learners who dedicate even a short amount of time each day to practice consistently outperform those who cram sporadically. These real-life examples underscore the undeniable truth. Consistency is the engine that drives long-term success. So, if consistency is so powerful, why do so many people struggle with it? Often, it's because we live in a world that often glorifies instant results. We can get discouraged when we don't see dramatic changes immediately. But remember the analogy of planting a tree. In the beginning, you don't see much happening above the surface, but beneath the soil, the roots are growing, establishing a strong foundation. If you stop watering it because you don't see immediate growth, you'll never see the tree flourish. The challenge is that many people stop watering their tree. They abandon their consistent efforts before they have a chance to see the fruits of their labor. To stay consistent, it's crucial to remember that progress is often gradual, especially in the beginning. Don't get fixated on immediate perfection. Focus on simply showing up and putting in the effort, even if it's just a small amount, every single day. In our final segment, we'll tackle some of the common obstacles that can derail your consistency efforts and provide you with concrete strategies to overcome them. We'll also revisit that 3-step formula for building lasting consistency. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the final part of our discussion on the power of consistency. We've established why it's so important and how it works. Now, let's address some of the common roadblocks that can make staying consistent a challenge. One of the biggest hurdles is lack of motivation. We often rely on feeling inspired to take action, but motivation is a fickle friend. It comes and goes. That's why relying solely on motivation is a recipe for inconsistency. Discipline, on the other hand, is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Successful people prioritize building habits and routines that keep them moving forward, regardless of their daily motivation levels. Another significant challenge is distractions and excuses. In today's world, we're bombarded with notifications, social media, and countless other things vying for our attention. It's easy to procrastinate and say, "I'll do it later," but later often never comes. Excuses like, "I don't have time," or "I'm too tired," can also become self-fulfilling prophecies. And finally, not seeing quick results can be incredibly demotivating. We live in an age of instant gratification, and when we don't see immediate progress, it's easy to feel like our efforts are futile and to give up. So, how do we overcome these common obstacles and build lasting consistency? Here are some key strategies. Combat lack of motivation. Create a non-negotiable daily routine. Remind yourself of your long-term vision. Focus on the process rather than just the outcome. Even small actions create momentum. Eliminate distractions and excuses. Identify your biggest time wasters and create strategies to minimize them. Schedule dedicated time for your consistent activity and treat it like an important appointment. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task feels daunting, commit to just 2 minutes. Often, you'll find yourself continuing. Manage expectations and celebrate small wins. Understand that significant results take time. Focus on the small improvements you're making and acknowledge your progress. Tracking your achievements can provide a powerful sense of accomplishment and keep you motivated. Earlier, we touched on a 3-step formula for staying consistent. Let's revisit that and solidify these principles. Step 1. Start small. As we've emphasized, overwhelming yourself with huge initial goals is a surefire way to lose momentum. Begin with an action so tiny that it feels almost effortless. This builds initial momentum and makes it easier to show up consistently. Step 2. Stay accountable. Whether it's through journaling your progress, setting reminders, finding a learning partner, or using tracking apps, make sure you have a system in place to monitor your consistency. Seeing your efforts accumulate is a powerful motivator. Step 3. Make it a habit. The ultimate goal is to integrate your desired action into your daily routine so that it becomes automatic. Do it at the same time each day if possible, and try to link it to an existing habit. This reduces the need for conscious willpower over time. Staying consistent isn't always easy, but it is absolutely achievable. The key is to shift your focus from occasional bursts of intense effort to small, deliberate actions repeated consistently over time. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or for motivation to strike. Start today, even if it's just with a tiny step. Build those daily habits, track your progress, and be patient with the results. Now, I have a challenge for you. Think about one goal you're currently working towards, or a new habit you want to build. What's one small, almost ridiculously easy step you can take towards that goal today? Write it down, commit to doing it, and I encourage you to track your progress. Keep a simple journal, set a reminder on your phone, whatever works for you. If you feel comfortable, share your journey with a friend, or even in the comments section of this podcast's webpage. Sharing your goals can provide an extra layer of accountability. Remember, success isn't about perfection. It's about showing up consistently and putting in the effort, day after day. Start today, keep going, and watch yourself grow. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. I hope this discussion on the power of consistency has inspired you to take those small but mighty steps towards your goals. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing and leaving a review. It helps us reach more listeners. Until next time, keep striving, stay consistent, and remember that even the longest journeys begin with a single, consistent step.